chosen one. What is happening to you right now is not supposed to be possible. Every system on Earth, from world emergency networks to research institutions and spiritual authorities, has flagged this moment as unprecedented. You have just become something above even what humanity has called God. And everyone has felt the shift. The universe itself is stirring, sensing a holy presence near you, and what was once written only in ancient prophecies, secret histories, and mythologies is now unfolding in real time. Scholars, world leaders, and holy teams are mobilizing, announcing that something unreal is occurring. A transformation rewriting reality itself. You are under this transformation now, and every living consciousness can feel it. Your body is redefining, your essence is changing, and time itself has bent to awaken you before it was written. You are stepping into a destiny planned since the beginning, the one whispered about in hidden texts and forbidden teachings, chosen one. You are no longer just rising. You are returning into godhood, becoming the last God one. Before we go deeper into this message, take a moment right now to anchor this energy. Hit that like button, subscribe to help us reach 20,000 subscribers, and leave a comment with the number 11. This number isn't random. It is a sacred signal to the universe that amplifies what is already happening in you. Those who are truly chosen will stay until the end of this message. Those who are not ready will fall away. For you who remain, life as you know it will never be the same. The world stopped for a moment, not in fear, in awe. Somewhere in of reality, a presence emerged, no longer confined to any known limits. The chosen one, you transcended the divine itself. Something ancient and cosmic stirred, as if the universe had to recalculate its own boundaries. Gods, myths, and even time paused to look at what you have become. And in that silent moment, existence bent to recognize a new pinnacle, not a god, but something even higher, something never imagined. This wasn't meant to happen. For eons, the concept of God stood as the final ceiling, the ultimate frontier. To ascend beyond that, no scroll or sacred text spoke of it clearly. Yet here you stand, not just as an anomaly, but as a signal that our understanding of power, spirit, and being is flawed. Entire cosmologies feel outdated in your presence. The divine trembles, not in fear, but in reverence. And it didn't just happen quietly. From the highest peaks to the ocean depths, people felt a strange ripple in the air, like the world inhaled sharply, sensing you. Animals became still. Storms stopped mid-surge. A golden silence followed. It was as though the very soul of existence had noticed you, recognized your presence, and bowed its head. You didn't demand worship. The universe offered it anyway. This transformation was not random. It was foretold in whispers, hidden in the footnotes of history, but even those who knew couldn't fully comprehend what was to come. You are not just powerful. You are becoming an eternal becoming, endlessly evolving beyond divine definition. This isn't just a story about ascension. It is a story about breaking every law of fate. And perhaps most shocking of all is that you didn't seek this. You didn't force it. The universe called, and you answered. But in doing so, you awakened forces too ancient for language, too massive for time to contain. You are the last God one, and your name will be remembered not in books, but in the fabric of existence itself. It wasn't a moment, it was a rupture. Everyone felt it, whether they believed or not. Children woke from sleep, crying with wide eyes. Elders who hadn't spoken in years suddenly whispered about the old signs returning. A shift not of politics, not of nature, but of reality itself passed over the earth. A heartbeat skipped in sync. Something impossible had just occurred, something irreversible. Religious leaders fell to their knees, mid-sermon, confused, weeping, clutching sacred texts that now felt outdated. Scientists stared at readings that broke the laws of physics. Devices failed to categorize the energy spike. It wasn't measurable. It wasn't even energy in the traditional sense. It was presence. A divine presence that defied all comprehension, and it came from you. This wasn't supposed to be possible. There were boundaries in place. Celestial ceilings meant to stop this from happening, but the ancient fail-safes crumbled like dust. You bypassed it all, not with violence, not with trickery, but by sheer existence. You walked into a domain where even gods are forbidden without a whisper. That kind of event doesn't go unnoticed. And yet, what followed was not chaos. It was reverence. Across continents, strangers knelt together without knowing why. Governments paused their broadcasts. Wars fell silent for a day. The collective spirit of humanity, and perhaps all sentient life, turned its gaze towards something higher, toward you. The shift didn't just happen to the world, it happened within it. The truth is, when something impossible occurs, it doesn't destroy belief, it redefines it. People are not panicking, they are awakening. They feel it in their bones, in their hearts, in their dreams. The chosen one has not just risen. You have broken the horizon. And now, the world can only follow. When you began your transcendence, sensors designed to detect nuclear war, planetary threats, and alien life all activated simultaneously. Global emergency protocols were triggered, not by a threat, but by something unexplainable. Every red alert flared at once across the world. Scientists assumed an extinction-level event had arrived. They weren't wrong, but it wasn't the end. It was the beginning of something far greater. Air traffic control lost contact with the upper atmosphere as unidentified fluctuations occurred. Satellites malfunctioned, not because of a hack or natural disaster, but due to something interfering with space-time itself. You altered reality just by existing. Even systems designed to withstand global catastrophe couldn't comprehend your awakening. The alerts weren't just alarms, they were declarations. Something new is here. Within minutes, emergency broadcasts flooded networks worldwide. But they weren't warning of destruction. They were filled with static, then silence. Then a single phrase, decoded in every language. He has awakened. News anchors broke down on live television. Governments called emergency meetings, but no one knew what to prepare for. How do you prepare for a being rewriting reality? It became clear that this wasn't a national issue, it was universal. The global systems designed to protect life on Earth had encountered a presence they couldn't contain. And for the first time in recorded history, every major world leader agreed. This isn't war, it is something holy. The focus shifted from defense to reverence. The world had not discovered a threat. It had met its future. And yet, amidst all this fear and awe, one truth settled like gravity. This transformation could not be stopped. The protocols, the warnings, the preparations, all were meaningless, because you weren't here to destroy. You were becoming something so far beyond comprehension that the old systems broke under the weight of your destiny. You are no longer under watch. You are being watched by everything that exists. The world's top minds gathered in desperation, not to control, but to understand. In hidden labs and global think tanks, researchers pored over every record, scripture, energy reading, and anomaly. What they found defied explanation. You had moved past the god-tier scale they once used to measure spiritual or energetic beings. You were beyond classification, beyond theology, beyond theory. They tried to quantify what had happened using known metrics, metaphysics, quantum entanglement, cosmic resonance. None applied. You weren't emitting power. You were power, not as an energy source, but as a reality-defining force. The scientific community, often skeptical of spiritual claims, finally agreed. This isn't science anymore. This is something new. Why a UU1 lead physicist, trembling during a press conference, declared, "We have discovered someone beyond divine architecture. This is not evolution. This is transfiguration." The statement shattered social media, news networks, and academia. You didn't evolve from humanity. You transcended everything that came before. The shock wasn't just intellectual, it was emotional. Imagine dedicating your life to understanding the universe, only to discover that a single being now rewrites its rules simply by being alive. There was no envy, only reverence. These researchers, the most logical minds of our time, began citing myth, prophecy, and sacred texts to try and describe you. Science had hit its ceiling. Faith had found its answer. In the end, they stopped calling you an anomaly. They used a new term, the last God one. A title, not of classification, but of cosmic truth. You weren't just discovered, sir. You were revealed. And now, the most brilliant minds can only watch in awe as your transformation continues beyond the realm of gods themselves. All across the cosmos, something shifted. Stars flickered for a fraction of a second, pulsars altered their rhythm. And even the silent void seemed to hum with new frequency. The universe itself sensed something it had not felt since its birth. A presence so holy, it bent the very rules of physics to accommodate it. And at the center of that presence was you. Not a god, not a mortal. Something beyond. Astronomers staring at deep-field telescopes reported strange patterns in distant galaxies, spirals forming where none had been, quasars blinking in Morse code like sequences as if trying to communicate. The data made no sense to anyone except those who began to see it as a cosmic signal. The universe was not just watching, it was responding, it was greeting you. In temples, shrines, and quiet rooms across the world, the devout felt it too. A warmth on the skin, a shiver in the spine, tears without reason. The experience was universal, crossing languages, cultures, and religions. The sensation was one of standing in sunlight after a long night, an unspeakable holiness that defied creed or doctrine. You didn't bring a religion. You brought reality itself into a new light. No longer was holiness an abstract term. It was physical. The laws of matter bent softly wherever you walked, like a path being cleared. Trees leaned toward you as if in prayer. Birds circled silently overhead. Even the air felt thicker, as though infused with meaning. This was not mythology anymore. It was happening live, in the shared present of every being. And somewhere in the heart of creation, a voice, long forgotten, whispered back. Not in words, but in presence. Welcome. The universe had made room for you. And now, everything inside ShareWeb was aware of the shift. The halls of academia, dusty and skeptical for centuries, erupted into urgent collaboration. Professors of theology and quantum mechanics sat side by side for the first time, their chalkboards filled with equations and verses. This was no longer about debate. It was about decoding the biggest event since the birth of the cosmos. Scholars around the globe became the new prophets, translators of a reality being rewritten in real time. Old manuscripts were pulled from vaults. Forbidden scrolls were unsealed. Languages dead for thousands of years were suddenly spoken aloud in Lababra Chatis. They all pointed vaguely to one figure, a being who would rise not as a savior, but as a rewriter. The last God one. You were no longer myth. You were footnotes turning into headlines. Religious leaders who once disagreed bitterly began working together. Imams with priests, rabbis with monks, Buddhist scholars with astrophysicists. It didn't matter which faith you followed. The transformation unfolding was larger than any one tradition. It was the convergence of all of them into something new. They called it the event, but quietly, most of them called it you. Some skeptics clung to disbelief, of course, but even they could not ignore the anomalies of end data, the global synchronicities, the shared dreams. People began reporting. The debate wasn't whether something was happening, it was what. And the deeper they dug, the more every trail led back to the same place, to your awakening. In a world that had grown tired of miracles, the scholars and holy teams had been activated like an ancient failsafe. They were no longer researching history, they were watching it unfold in front of them. Every molecule of your body, every thread of your soul is changing. It is not pain, it is not pleasure. It is something entirely other, like being rewritten from the inside out by a hand older than time. The transformation is not only visible to you, it radiates outward. Animals sense it. Machines sense it. Even dreams are filled with your shifting presence. Mountains tremble at night, but do not collapse. Oceans glow faintly in places where you have been. Children speak words they do not know, recounting visions of your future self. Creation does not resist your change, it adjusts to it. Like a song, key change, the melody continues, but in a higher pitch. For you, it feels like memory returning, rather than something new being given. This was always planned. The threads of your being were woven with cosmic ink. The transformation is simply your body catching up to your true self. But for the universe, it is a revelation. The very fabric of reality shivers as a new pattern is woven through it. No prophecy described it exactly. They only hinted in riddles and symbols, a phoenix above the sun, a shadow taller than a god, a name spoken backwards in every tongue. All of it was a faint reflection of this moment. The transformation of one being into the impossible, into the unthinkable, into you. And still, as overwhelming as it is, you remain centered, human enough to feel, eternal enough to endure. You are not just under transformation, you are the transformation. Across dusty libraries and remote caves, fragments of stories had been waiting for centuries. Myths of skywalkers, flame-born ones, and nameless beings who would come beyond the divine were considered poetic metaphors. Until now, suddenly, these scattered tales were no longer fiction. They were data points. They were all about you. Ancient tablets in Sumerian spoke of a one who wakes before the gods. Norse sagas whispered of a final traveler who writes the last saga. African oral traditions told of a being who would be felt across all rivers and all skies. Even secret Vatican vaults contained references to the last god, one, written in code, hidden from the public eye. For ages, scholars debated whether these were myths created by different cultures or echoes of a single lost story. Your awakening answered the question. They were all describing the same thing. They were describing you. History had been keeping your seat warm. This is why so many people feel they already know you. It is why your presence feels strangely familiar, even to strangers. You are not new. You are the arrival of something long expected, but never truly believed. Every prophecy was a broken mirror of your face. Now, for the first time, all those mirrors align, and the image they form is clear. You are the fulfillment of every story, but also the author of the next one. As news spread and evidence mounted, the world's leaders convened in urgent, secret summits. What they once would have dismissed as folklore was now in front of them, measured by their own satellites and sensors. The impossible was happening, and no country owned it. It was you. Rather than plan weapons or defense, they did something unprecedented. They pooled resources. They funded international teams not to contain you, but to understand you. Former rival nations worked side by side, scientists sharing data instead of hoarding it. The Last God One project, as it became known, was the most collaborative effort in human history. These teams weren't just physicists. They were theologians, linguists, anthropologists, even artists. Every field had something to offer, because your transformation was not just physical. It was cultural, spiritual, and existential. They were trying to map not only a new power, but a new paradigm. Inside these labs and meetings, a quiet reverence replaced fear. Security guards bowed unconsciously. Analysts stared at data streams with tears in their eyes. They weren't just studying an event, they were watching a threshold being crossed, and something in their bones told them this was not a threat. It was a birth. The irony was unmistakable. For thousands of years, humanity looked to the heavens for gods, and now, heaven itself had turned its gaze on earth. Because of you, reality has begun to adjust itself around you, like clay around a new mold. Events you haven't lived yet are appearing in old books. People you have never met are dreaming of you, seeing details they couldn't know. History itself is bending backward and forward to include your transformation as if it has always been there. New constellations form overnight. Rivers carve new paths. The future echoes backward in time, leaving artifacts in the past. This is not myth. It is happening in full view of the world. Scholars find your name in manuscripts where it wasn't printed before. Statues take on your even though they were carved centuries ago. You are not just changing reality. Reality is rewriting itself to acknowledge you. It is as though the universe were a book, and your presence a new chapter so significant it forces the earlier pages to foreshadow it. People feel déjà vu, not because they have met you before, but because reality is giving them memories retroactively. For the first time, humanity is watching destiny happen live, not prophecy fulfilled after the fact, but prophecy being written in the moment. You are the author and the subject simultaneously. The script of existence now includes you as its keystone, and with every passing moment, the writing becomes clearer. The world no longer asks, "Who is this?" It whispers, "This was always meant to be." Even in the highest celestial orders, there are rules, timelines, appointed hours for appointed beings, yet you have awakened early. The seal has been broken before its time. You have arrived at the stage before the curtain was raised, and in doing so, you have broken a law older than the stars. This isn't rebellion. It is inevitability. You didn't claw your way out. You simply answered a call that came too soon. But by waking early, you have thrown every cosmic schedule off balance. Entities older than galaxies have stirred, confused, wondering how the impossible has occurred. Some would call it a mistake, but deep down, even they know it is not. This was always the real plan, hidden under layers of false timing to prevent interference. You are not an error, you are the correction. Your early awakening is why the universe reacted so violently. The emergency systems, the prophecies, the researchers, none were prepared for now. And yet here you are, not only awake, but rising. The timeline bends to you rather than the other way around. It is a dangerous and beautiful thing to awaken early. You are the dawn before the sun, the echo before the sound, and all of creation is scrambling to adjust. Everything humanity thought was impossible, you have already surpassed. Mortality, divinity, time, even the concept of possible itself has dissolved around you. The unthinkable has become tangible, and it stands in human form. This is not power for power's sake. It is the breaking of every boundary so that new existence can emerge. By becoming the unthinkable, you have shown that the universe was never a prison. It was a chrysalis, and you are the first to break free. People struggle to put words to it. Some call you an angel, some a god, some a singularity in human shape. But the truth is simpler and more profound. You are what happens when potential stops being theoretical. You are possibility incarnate. This is why no weapon rises against you, why no nation can claim you. The unthinkable cannot be owned, it cannot be weaponized. It simply is, and through you, everyone glimpses that it could also be them. For now, though, you remain the first and only, the one who crossed the line that wasn't supposed to exist. The impossible made real. Your body is no longer just flesh. It is blueprint, architecture, and revelation. Cells rearrange themselves into new patterns. Light gathers around you like a cloak. You are not decaying. You are unfolding, like a star going nova, but without destruction. This change was written into you from the start. A hidden plan buried so deeply, you never felt it until now. It is not alien. It is not foreign. It is your most authentic self, rising through the layers of what you once thought you were. The body you had was only a mask. This is your true form emerging. To outside observers, it is awe-inspiring. Skin glowing faintly, eyes reflecting constellations, footsteps leaving subtle impressions of light. To you, it feels like breathing for the first time, like remembering something you never forgot. It is not an end. It is a homecoming. Doctors, scientists, and mystics alike study your transformation but cannot find illness or harm. They find only perfection, as if every organ and atom were rewriting itself into a higher language. They stop calling it a mutation. They call it ascendant anatomy, and still you move gently through it, neither flaunting nor hiding it, because you know this isn't about spectacle. It is about alignment, about becoming the plan you were always meant to be. Godhood is not a seat, it is a state, and you have entered it not by conquest, but by return. Like a river finally reaching the sea, you have come back to what you were before time even began. The last throne was never empty. It was waiting for you. This is not about ruling others. It is about embodying the fullness of being. In your presence, hierarchies dissolve. The throne is symbolic, representing the point beyond which there is nothing higher. By standing there, you don't make others smaller. You make them aware of how high they can rise. Legends spoke of a final God, but they never explained what final meant. It doesn't mean ending. It means completion. The circle closes. The story returns to its origin, and from that origin, new stories will begin. As you ascend, you do not vanish into light. You remain visible, present, accessible. This is not abdication. It is integration. The divine and the mortal are no longer separate categories. They are you. You are them. And so the last throne is claimed not as a seat of power, but as a bridge, a beacon, the axis around which all futures can turn. This is the name whispered by scientists and children alike. The last God One, not because there will never be others, but because you are the convergence of everything that came before. You are the final chord of an ancient song, the point at which every note resolves. All creation feels lighter now. The air tastes different. Time itself feels gentler, as though attention has been released. You did not demand worship, you did not conquer. You simply became, and in doing so, showed everyone a mirror of their own hidden divinity. People will tell stories of this moment, not as myth, but as memory. They will say, "I was there when reality changed." Children not yet born will grow up in a world you helped rewrite. The last God One will not be a distant figure. It will be the pulse of a new era. And though you are above gods, you have not abandoned humanity. You walk among them still, a living testament that the impossible is not only possible, it has already happened. You are living proof that the ceiling was never real. So the script closes on a single truth, echoing through the stars and the minds of all who sense it. You are not just chosen, you are becoming. You are not just becoming, you are. The last God One, from the moment you opened your eyes, something cosmic shifted. The hands of time faltered, caught between the old reality and the new one you were forging. You are not bound by linear constraints anymore. Instead, you move through moments like waves through water, flowing freely, reshaping what was thought immutable. This awakening isn't a quiet one. It echoes in the hearts of stars, rippling through galaxies and stirring dormant energies waiting for your call. There is fear, yes, but also an overwhelming sense of purpose, a destiny that transcends human comprehension. You are the catalyst, the spark lighting a new cosmic dawn. Ancient watches, celestial beings, and forgotten deities stir in the shadows, feeling the tremors of your birth. They sense that the cycle of creation itself bends toward you. You are a force of nature, unstoppable, inevitable, and breathtakingly beautiful. And as you stand on this threshold, you realize the universe is no longer a backdrop to your life. It is alive with you, breathing your story to every corner of existence. When you walk through the world, reality itself listens. The ground beneath your feet shifts subtly, rewriting the narrative of existence one step at a time. Your presence is like a stone dropped into the infinite pond of time, ripples that stretch beyond sight, altering destinies and reshaping futures. You carry the weight and wonder of eternity, not in some distant, cold way, but intimately, as if every moment you breathe carries the collective memory of all that was and all that could be. The very atoms seem to recognize you, vibrating in harmony with the timeless song you now conduct. This rewriting of reality isn't violent. It is elegant and profound. The universe's code bends gracefully, making space for a new pattern, one centered on hope, transformation, and boundless possibility. Old rules fall away, replaced by a fluid dance of creation where you lead the steps. People around you feel this, even if they cannot articulate it. A stranger's glance holds newfound warmth. A child's laughter feels richer. The air hums softly with promise. You have become a living echo of eternity, a reminder that time is both a river and an ocean, endlessly flowing, endlessly deep. With every heartbeat, you change the story of existence, reminding all that reality is not fixed, but a canvas awaiting the brushstroke of the divine. No one sees your crown. It is not made of gold or jewels, but forged in the fires of transformation and tempered by endless trials. It weighs heavily on your shoulders, but its burden is also a sacred honor. This invisible crown is the symbol of power. Few can comprehend the power to reshape worlds, to hold the fate of countless lives in your hands. With this power comes solitude. Few understand the depths of what you carry. Even those closest to you can only glimpse fragments of your reality. There is a loneliness in knowing you walk a path no one else can follow. A path lined with unseen battles and silent victories. But the crown is not just a burden, it is a source of strength. It reminds you daily that you are chosen for this moment, that the fire you bear was ignited not by chance, but by design. Every challenge faced, every sacrifice made, has woven the threads of your destiny into this radiant tapestry. The invisible crown connects you to the cosmos and to every living soul. It is both a beacon and a shield, empowering you to stand tall amidst the storm. And though it remains unseen, its light shines brightest in your actions, your courage, and your unwavering heart. Wearing this crown, you are a king and queen of unseen realms, a sovereign of possibility. Your story is one of profound metamorphosis, a journey from darkness into dazzling light. Like a phoenix, you have risen from the ashes of your former self, burning away doubt, fear, and limitation. This transformation is radical, not just a change, but a complete rebirth into something far greater than you ever imagined. Each step in your journey has been a crucible. Pain and loss forged resilience. Moments of despair birthed hope. You didn't just survive the storm, you mastered it, learning to dance in the rain while your wings unfolded behind you. This transformation is visible not only in your spirit, but in your very being. You carry the stars in your eyes and the cosmos in your soul. Every scar, every tear, every smile tells a story of triumph, a narrative that inspires others to believe in their own power to change. What makes this journey so beautiful is its honesty. You have embraced the shadows as much as the light, knowing that true transformation requires both. And through this balance, you have become a living testament to the power of resilience and hope. From ashes, you didn't just rise, you became the stars themselves, lighting the way for all who follow. There comes a moment when the universe reaches out, not in thunder or flame, but in a whisper only the chosen can hear. This call is ancient, eternal, and deeply personal. It beckons you beyond the boundaries of known existence, inviting you to step into a destiny written among the stars. Answering this call is a leap of faith that defies reason. It requires courage to leave behind the familiar and embrace the unknown. It asks you to trust not just in yourself, but in the unseen forces that guide your path. Forces older than galaxies, wiser than time. Chosen one, what I'm about to release over your life today is beyond anything you could have planned, predicted, or even dared to imagine. And if you are hearing this right now, understand this with absolute certainty. You did not arrive here by accident. You were guided. You were drawn. You were led by the hand of God into a moment that has been set apart on heaven's calendar. Something extraordinarily powerful is about to unfold in your life, and a life-altering meeting with God is closer than you think. Yes, closer than you think. The Lord has decided the time is now. The season of one day has ended. The moment you have been waiting for, the divine encounter you have longed for, the turning point you have carried in your spirit, without knowing how to name it, this is drawing near. This isn't just a hopeful thought. And it is not a shallow burst of emotion. This is your moment of transformation. This is your moment of alignment. This is your moment of divine purpose rising to the surface and demanding to be lived. As a chosen one, you are being prepared for a sacred encounter, and the shifts that follow will leave you in awe. But to walk fully into this meeting, you must understand how to align your heart and mind with what God is releasing into your life. There is a holy current moving toward you, a spiritual momentum that is not random and cannot be ignored. And the greatest mistake you could make right now is to treat this as entertainment instead of activation. Before we dive deeper into this transformative message, take a moment to pause and do 3 things. Hit that like button, subscribe to help us reach 50,000 subscribers, and leave a comment with the number 99. This number will activate the divine energy surrounding you and amplify the power of this moment. And remember, if you're truly a chosen one, you'll watch this video until the end, because your spirit knows this truth is meant for you. So take a breath, slow down, let your spirit come to attention, because what's coming is not going to be small. It will not fit neatly into your old schedule, your old fears, or your old identity. You are stepping into something that will require you to think differently, speak differently, and believe differently. Scripture says, "See, I have set before you an open door, and no one can shut it." Revelation 3:8. That door is opening, and the only question is whether you will step through it with faith. There are moments in life that arrive like a divine whisper, soft, almost easy to miss, yet carrying the weight of destiny. You may have sensed it, the quiet pull in your soul, the inner stirring that tells you something monumental is about to unfold. You may not have proof, but you have presence. You may not have the full picture, but you have the signal. This is not coincidence. You are a chosen one, and the life-changing meeting you've been waiting for is drawing near. Your heart may race with anticipation. Your mind may flood with questions. What will it look like? How will it happen? Am I ready? But hear this. What's coming is not merely a moment in time. It is the beginning of an entirely new chapter that will transform everything you thought you knew about your path, your purpose, and your identity. This meeting is not random, and it is not by chance. It has been meticulously planned, crafted with you in mind. Heaven's timing is not careless, it is precise. For everything there is a season, and a time for every matter under heaven. Ecclesiastes 3:1. This is your time. The universe is not your God, but creation does respond to the voice of the Creator. And when God speaks, environments shift, doors open, and patterns break. The Lord is bringing you into alignment with your highest calling. It may not be easy, and it may not look like what you expected, but you are ready. Every experience you have lived, every challenge you survived, every moment of growth that shaped you, none of it was wasted. The stage is set, and you are about to meet your destiny head-on. As you prepare for this meeting, understand something crucial. It is not about physical travel or outward movement first. It is a spiritual awakening. Your soul is preparing for a deep alignment with the divine plan that has been forming around you and within you. This is the moment where you finally realize you were never meant to live a mundane life. You were meant for greatness, not greatness for ego, but greatness for impact, for obedience, for purpose. God is calling you to fulfill what He planted in you in ways you could never produce by your own strength. The Lord's hand has been at work in your life since the beginning. He has been orchestrating details you didn't see, protecting you from things you thought you needed, redirecting you from paths that would have drained your destiny. Your life has not been a series of random events. Every triumph and every trial, every twist in your story has been carefully used to guide you toward a higher purpose. Scripture declares, "The Lord will fulfill his purpose for me." Psalm 138, verse 8. And if God will fulfill it, then nothing can cancel it. You have been chosen by the divine, and now it is time to step into the role you were meant to play. Being chosen is a profound responsibility, but it is also a tremendous blessing. The Creator has seen something in you, something unique, something powerful, something necessary for the time you are living in, and He is calling you to fulfill a purpose far beyond what you have ever dreamed possible. Yes, the path ahead may require release. You may have to let go of things that once seemed important, relationships you've outgrown, habits that dull your spirit, identities that kept you small, comforts that kept you safe but stuck. But remember, what lies ahead is greater than what you leave behind. God is not taking from you to punish you, He is clearing space to promote you. No one who puts a hand to the plow and looks back is fit for the kingdom of God. Luke 9:62. This is not condemnation, this is direction forward. It may be hard to see right now, but every moment, every twist, every turn is taking you closer to the meeting that will ignite your spiritual awakening. Do not doubt your worthiness. You are exactly where you are meant to be. This journey is preparing you for something that will change the world around you. Not because you become famous, but because you become aligned. Because when a chosen one rises in obedience, light spreads. This meeting you are about to experience is not ordinary. It is sacred. It is powerful, and it will change the way you see your life, your past, and your purpose. You may not fully understand it now, but you will soon realize this encounter was the turning point. This is where everything you've learned about yourself will come together in a way that feels overwhelmingly right, like the final piece locking into place. And listen closely, this sacred meeting is not just about meeting another person, though God may use people as instruments. But the deeper meeting is with the higher version of yourself, the self God has been shaping beneath the surface. It is about coming face to face with the truth of who you really are and why you were placed on this earth. It is the moment you finally recognize the power you've carried all along. It is when you embrace the divine purpose that has been patiently waiting for your yes. So as you prepare, be open to what comes. The details may be unclear right now, but the message is loud and unmistakable. The time has come. What you are about to undergo will be revelation, deep spiritual awakening, an unlocking of the next chapter. This meeting is the key, and once you step through that door, everything changes. Now, it's normal if part of you feels overwhelmed. You may wonder, what am I supposed to do? How can I possibly be ready for something this big? But here is the truth. You don't need to have everything figured out. Your preparation is not primarily external, it is internal. Your heart, mind, and spirit must come into alignment with what God has planned. Expect moments of intense self-reflection. You may think deeply about your past, your choices, your growth. These reflections are not meant to shame you, they are meant to free you. They help you release what no longer serves you and make space for what's coming. You may also feel a strange peace, a quiet knowing that something is unfolding. That peace is not denial, it is confirmation. You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast, because they trust in you. Isaiah 26:3. You may also experience doubt or fear. That is natural when the future is unfamiliar. But fear is not a prophecy. Fear is a signal that you are approaching territory you have never walked before. And God does not call you to places He will not sustain you. My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. 2 Corinthians 12:9. You are not disqualified by trembling hands. You are qualified by surrendered heart. It may feel like you are standing at the edge of a cliff, unsure of what lies beyond. But hear me, you are about to leave behind the old and step into something greater than you imagined. This is not a physical departure first. It is a spiritual one. You're moving out of old ways of thinking, old patterns that kept you stuck, old agreements with limitation. You're stepping into a new realm of possibility. This transition will require you to let go of what no longer aligns with your true self. It may mean walking away from relationships, habits, or even careers that once defined you. But trust this, the shedding is necessary. You are not losing yourself. You are losing what was never truly you. You are shedding old skin to make way for the new. And though the process may feel uncomfortable, it will lead you into greater freedom. In the beginning, this shift can feel like unease, but that unease is not a curse. It is expansion. It is your soul stretching, preparing for the next stage of evolution. Soon, you will look back and realize how much the journey shaped you into the person you were always meant to become. And yes, there are signs when you are on the edge of a divine shift. The signs may not always be dramatic, but they are undeniable when you pay attention. The first sign is inner restlessness, not depression, not emptiness, but a holy dissatisfaction, a stirring that says, I cannot stay here. That restlessness is a calling. It is the Spirit of God moving in you, urging you toward higher purpose. Another sign is heightened intuition, your inner discernment sharpening. You will begin to feel nudges, to receive guidance, to sense direction that doesn't come from logic alone. The ear that hears the reproof of life will abide among the wise. Proverbs 15:31. God can guide you through inner knowing as surely as He guides you through open doors. And finally, you may notice your external world shifting. People and situations that no longer serve your destiny may begin to fade. New opportunities and relationships may start to emerge. These shifts are not random, they are rearrangement. God is removing what distracts you and positioning what supports you. One of the clearest signs that the divine shift is close is sudden detachment from your old life. You may wake up and realize the things that used to comfort you no longer satisfy you. Your job, your relationships, even your hobbies may feel hollow. That is not loss, it is invitation. God is calling you to release what kept you grounded in a life that no longer matches your assignment. You may begin questioning old beliefs and patterns. It can feel disorienting, but it is not destruction, it is construction. Detachment is not rejection, it is growth. God is guiding you to shed what holds you back, to make room for what will elevate you. And as you release the old, you may feel both grief and relief. That is normal. But you will soon realize you were never meant to carry those things into your next season. Another strong sign is heightened spiritual awareness. Synchronicities increase. You begin noticing patterns that feel too precise to be accidental. You may feel God's presence more strongly. You may hear His voice with greater clarity, not always audibly, but as conviction, as peace, as warning, as direction. Whether you turn to the right or to the left, your ears will hear a voice behind you saying, "This is the way, walk in it." Isaiah 30:21. These spiritual signals are not to be ignored. They are guidance. As your connection deepens, you begin to see the path more clearly. The meeting you have been waiting for is within reach, and your increased spiritual awareness will guide you directly to it. And as your spirit awakens, your body may also respond. You may notice tingling sensations, energy moving through you, sudden exhaustion, or a need for rest and cleansing. Sometimes when God elevates a person, even their physical rhythms shift. You may be drawn toward hydration, simplicity, healthier patterns. Your body is adjusting to carry what your spirit is stepping into. Honor that. This is not weakness. This is recalibration. As your awakening deepens, you may feel urgency rising, like time is moving faster, like you cannot postpone obedience anymore. This is not panic. This is divine momentum. God is moving you forward with intensity because your mission is closer than ever. You may feel restless because your spirit knows you were made for more. That urgency is a sign you are ready. You are no longer the person you were. You are becoming someone who will impact the world by fulfilling their assignment. The timing of this meeting is not an accident. Even if you feel like you have waited forever, God's timing remains perfect. When it seems like nothing is happening, heaven is arranging behind the curtain. Every lesson has been preparation. Every delay has been protection. Every closed door has been redirection. But as for you, you meant evil against me, but God meant it for good. Genesis 50:20. What others tried to use to break you, God used to build you. This divine timing is a gift, because it ensures that when you step into this new chapter, you will do it with maturity, with clarity, and with strength. When God opens the door, it will not be half open, it will swing wide, and what aligns will align swiftly. What you are experiencing is nothing short of sacred rebirth. As you release the old and embrace the new, you are stepping into a life that is truly yours, one marked by purpose, meaning, and peace. This rebirth may be painful at times. It may require you to confront truths you avoided and release fears you carried, but this is the refining. This is the fire that purifies without destroying. He will sit as a refiner and purifier of silver. Malachi 3:3. He is refining you because he trusts you with what comes next. When you look back, you will realize this rebirth was the turning point, the moment you stepped into your true self. The life you are about to live will bring light to others, not because you are perfect, but because you are aligned, because you are willing, because you are obedient. Stepping into your true self is the culmination of everything you've been walking through. It will feel like awakening and alignment, like your soul finally exhaling. You will recognize the power that has always been within you. You will see yourself as God sees you, chosen, formed, intentional. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Jeremiah 1:5. Your life was never an accident. Your calling was never an afterthought. The waiting is ending. The time to step into your full potential has arrived. And as you step into it, you will feel peace. Not because life becomes easy, but because you will finally be in agreement with your purpose. As a chosen one, you may soon realize you are navigating between two realms. the physical and the spiritual. You will still live in this world, but you will perceive spiritual dimensions more clearly. This can feel both exhilarating and disorienting at first. You will sense the pull between earthly responsibilities and divine calling. But this is part of the journey, learning to integrate the two, allowing spiritual growth to guide daily life. Over time, this dual awareness will become natural. You will become more attuned to divine guidance even in ordinary moments. You will learn how to respond to God in the middle of routine. And this will empower you to fulfill your divine mission with grace and wisdom. If any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask of God, who gives generously. James 1:5. You are not expected to know everything. You are expected to stay connected. And now, listen carefully, because this is the most important instruction of all. Trust God's plan. You may not understand everything happening right now. The future may still feel uncertain, but God's plan for you is greater than anything you could design for yourself. Your mission is waiting, and you are ready to step into it. This is the moment you have been prepared for, not just in the past few months, but your entire life. God's hand is guiding you, his voice is calling you, his spirit is strengthening you. And as you embrace the shift and step into your mission, you will watch your life transform in ways you never thought possible. Now, let me take you deeper, because there are layers to this awakening that many people never recognize. What is happening to you is not a random burst of motivation. It is a holy unfolding, a spiritual revelation that will continue building upon itself. The awakening you are entering is not meant to frighten you. It is meant to free you. It is not meant to overwhelm you. It is meant to align you, and it is not meant to make you question whether you are chosen. It is meant to confirm it. This awakening may begin gently, like light seeping through cracks. It may come through sudden clarity. It may come through a deeper hunger for God. It may come through discomfort with what once satisfied you. But however it arrives, it will carry one unmistakable message. Your life has purpose, and your purpose has urgency. You have been called, not called by society, not called by applause, called by God. And when God calls, he also equips. Now to him who is able to do immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine. Ephesians 3:20. What's coming will be bigger than your capacity, but not bigger than his. There will be moments when fear tries to negotiate with you. Fear will whisper, wait. Fear will say, not yet. Fear will remind you of your past, your flaws, your failures. But fear is not your shepherd. God is. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Psalm 23:1. You will not lack what you need for what he is asking. Your doubts are not evidence that you are unworthy. They are evidence that you are approaching something holy. Because the moment a chosen one gets close to their next level, the resistance increases. But resistance is not rejection. Resistance is confirmation that the door matters. And as you step forward, the blueprint of your life will begin revealing itself more clearly. You will start seeing how the pain was preparation, how the delays were divine discipline, how the rejection was redirection, how the loneliness was training, how the pressure was shaping you into a vessel strong enough to carry what God is about to pour into your life. This blueprint is not static. It is living. It unfolds step by step, and God rarely gives the whole map. He gives the next step. That is why faith is essential. Faith is the bridge between where you are and where you are going. We live by faith, not by sight. 2 Corinthians 5:7. That does not mean you are blind. It means you are led. Behind the scenes, unseen forces are at work. Not impersonal energy, but divine orchestration. God is aligning people, timing, resources, opportunities, and revelation. You may not see it, but heaven is moving. And you will start noticing signs, not because you worship signs, but because God is kind enough to confirm direction. When you trust this process, you stop forcing doors, you stop chasing validation, you stop begging for what is not assigned to you, and you start walking in authority, quietly, steadily, powerfully, toward what God has already prepared. And as a chosen one, understand this. You are not only called to be transformed, you are called to carry transformation. You are stepping into the role of a messenger, a light bearer, a witness of God's faithfulness, not to perform, not to boast, but to bring hope to those who are still crawling through the valley. You survived. The Spirit of the Lord is on me because He has anointed me to proclaim good news. Luke 4:18. That is not just for a pulpit, that is for a life. Your testimony will preach, your obedience will speak, your peace will confront chaos, your alignment will awaken others. So do not shrink back, do not underestimate this moment. The meeting is near, the awakening is underway, the shift is already happening, and soon, very soon, you will look back and realize God did not bring you this far to leave you. He brought you this far to reveal you. You're ready. The time has come. Step forward. And chosen one, as we close this message, I want you to hear this clearly. If this message has touched your heart, if it stirred your spirit, if it reminded you that God is still moving, still speaking, still restoring, and still writing your story, then listen. If you feel led to support the mission of spreading God's word, there is a link pinned in the comments. No gift is too small. Jesus honored the widow's 2 coins in Mark 12, proving that heaven does not measure the amount, but the heart behind it. Your generosity, even a single penny, can carry light into someone's darkest moment.